Hello and welcome to the Lehigh Valley Food Podcast. My name's Tim, and with me today, I have my co-host, Riley. Today, we are at Notch Modern Kitchen and Bar.
So on the show today, we actually have 3 different guests for where we're at today for Notch. And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name is Chef Tyler Baxter. I'm the executive chef here at Notch Modern Kitchen and Bar. Been here since the opening. Really excited to be on the show and talk about some important points and just really let everybody know what's going on in the restaurant business right now and make everybody understand what we're going through.
My name's Neil Heimsoth. I'm the beverage director for Notch Modern Kitchen and Bar. And I'm joined with my favorite GM, as always, Jesse Pessolano.
Here we are together again.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jesse Pessolano. I'm the general manager here at Notch Modern Kitchen and Bar. Along with Chef Tyler, I've been here since day one, and I really am excited for the opportunity to talk about some things.
Absolutely. Pleasure to meet you.
Where did you guys come from?
My mom and dad.
Your mom and dad. Beautiful story.
Terrible answer. So I came up in the Valley, grew up in Center Valley, went to Southern Lehigh High School. After high school, just felt like I wasn't ready for college. So the restaurant industry kind of piqued my interest a little bit, just being able to communicate and socialize with new people all the time, and new coworkers. And it was really intriguing. And I just kind of fell into it, and I've been doing it ever since. So I'm on 18 years right now.
Wow.
Opened 4 different restaurants, all of which have been incredibly successful and
well known.
Hope to continue that path, as I go forward.
Awesome. So obviously, I mean, I've had the food here and it is good. Like, you make good food. Where did this passion come from though? Like, you said kind of like you weren't ready for college, but how did you get to be where you are with cooking, and how did you get to be at this level?
Honestly, truthfully, growing up, my father was a single father for a long time. And myself as a teenager was incredibly particular. I didn't want to eat anything but like roasted chicken and some roasted potatoes, like very basic. And seeing his passion for food and being able to create something different for everybody's different flavor profile was really like just very surreal. And seeing him be able to cater his full-time job, because he's a full-time doctor.
Wow. And
be able to pause his whole life to feed 2 picky kids was very, very humbling. So that's always been in the back of my head. And I've now taken that into my life, and I can be able to please anybody who has any kind of preference. You don't like this, you don't like that. Sure, we can make it work.
Yeah.
Always,
absolutely.
all the time.
growing up, you decided that, you were going to just make it and sail. And you never at all tried to go into culinary school or?
Actually, I ended up going into culinary school when I was 25.
Oh.
So I had already been the sous chef at Cosmopolitan in Allentown, which is no longer existing, but it was a 7-story restaurant. We would do weddings every Friday and Saturday for 200 people, plus a full service. So I was very out of my element.
I didn't know that for that place.
Yeah. So it was like kind of like trial by fire.
Wow.
Where it was like, hey, can you do it or can't you?
They just threw you.
And I put my head down, and we just kept doing it. And I have such an eager work ethic, and I want to be able to do the best that I possibly can by me and by all the people surrounding me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what this business is based on, is we have to be a team. Yeah. And we have to understand that if we can't do it all together, we can't do it at all.
Especially in the kitchen, one machine that communicates.
100%. Like if one gear is off, guess what? The whole machine is going to go down.
That's the same with my car.
Exactly. But it's so relatable for every aspect of life. Like this is team. This is, team first. Put all your other struggles aside. You come to work and we do what we have to do.
Absolutely. Exactly. I love that. I love that so much.
To echo Chef, with the teamwork and the team atmosphere and things of that nature, it's, that trickles from front of the house to the back of the house, and that's everything that a restaurant really relies on. So it's nice when you have somebody who's at the head of that as a beautiful equal that that leads by example and really sets like a really good tone for the restaurant. So a lot of us always try to just build off that, and Jesse does a great job of that. I try to do the same thing with the bar team, and Chef does a great job with that with the kitchen team, with the chef team. So
yeah, one thing we talk about all the time is culture. And that kind of gets overlooked in restaurants, but we have the dynamic as the leaders of Notch that like we don't want to yell and scream. We don't want to do things and make it so that this isn't an environment that employees don't want to be in. And we really do have that ideal thing where employees enjoy coming in. Neil has an amazing sense of humor. Chef has a great sense of humor. I'd like to think I do, but I'm not as funny as this guy to the left of me.
Sit or miss.
But anyway, that being said, the three of us together, I think it does create an environment, and I think guests see it. Like they see nobody's walking around tense. Everyone's having a good time.
No, and also it lends itself to educating.
Yeah.
Which I think is huge because, I know me and Chef always talk about it. And it's one of the beauties of working side by side with Chef is that what we try to do with the bar program is just constantly evolve and constantly educate and not only our staff, but our patrons and our guests. And that does nothing but help grow the entire restaurant and community that we're trying to build.
Yeah.
On the menu here at Notch, what are some of your favorites that you've created or that you've done?
I mean, I would say the top two favorites are the Korean fried chicken, which coming from opening the Bayou with me and my sous chef currently here now, Sean Rainey, we created, in my opinion, the best fried chicken in the Valley, which we've been voted. We were voted best fried chicken our first year open at the Bayou. So we've, kind of transposed that recipe and modified it a little bit for here to fit the motif and to fit our niche. And as well as we have miso glazed cod on the menu, which is this dish that's been around for a long time. Chef Nobu from Manhattan created it. We kind of, again, took our own spin on it and made it our own. And in my opinion, that's, the most classic and most appropriate dish for this restaurant.
Absolutely. I've also had, I don't know if it's on the menu currently or if it was a special, it was a pan-seared salmon.
Yeah, we have two versions of the salmon on the menu right now. We do with basically like a version of like a red curry, which has roasted corn, roasted tomatoes, roasted peppers, an XO broth, which is this classic Chinese sauce from the 80s that was like tried to bring the wealth of the Chinese culture to prominence. Yeah. And they created this own sauce, which has this really expensive ham, dried scallops, dried shrimp. It's just all the most like flavor-packed items into one sauce. So we form that with some mushroom broth, and that's served with a piece of seared salmon over top.
That's amazing. It is. I've had it. It's one of the best pan-seared salmons I've had in the Lehigh Valley. Awesome. And you guys definitely do you guys cook it correctly too. It's not falling apart.
Right. We take a lot of pride in what we do. Even the most simple things. It comes down to just being proud and prideful and really caring and loving what you do every single day. Even if it's monotonous, even if it's like, I've done this for the past 10 days in a row, you put all that stuff aside and you just...
You've got that passion.
It's an art.
That's amazing.
You have to, because you can taste it.
Yeah.
And our guests can taste it, and that's the beauty of it, is that they taste what we feel in the food that we cook.
One more thing I have to add about the menu. My girlfriend absolutely hates rice. And the rice that you guys serve with the pan-seared scallops is the only rice that she's ever had. And she said, wow, this is delicious. And I'm like, what did you just say?
See, right? And that's what we're doing. We're breaking borders, and we're tearing down boundaries for people to say, hey, maybe I never liked it because I never had it cooked well before. So now they can understand, hey, we have professionals doing this for us, and we can really be receptive of that and say, oh, this is good. They care. I can taste the love in the food.
And along with that, it's also the presentation, like that salmon dish you were just talking about, just the different colors that are all in it and the way they set it up. Same with the scallops where they do it over top. It's just, once you look at it, you're going to enjoy it. And then when you dive in and taste it, you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you create Do you create the drinks, like the specialty drinks on the menu?
Yeah, majority of them, but I rely on my bar team a lot as well. Like I said, education's a big thing. I want contributions from everybody. I think it's just the right thing for growth for everybody. And like Chef, we go heavily on seasonality. So we change our cocktails about every 6 months.
Awesome.
Really relying on a lot of that new seasonal flavors and complexities that come around that we can take advantage of and continue to educate our guests and build that trust that they can come in and really order anything off of our signature cocktail list and be pleasantly surprised. Like you said, if they don't like rice, they like rice here. If you don't like gin, I can make you fall in love with gin. You know what I mean? So that's really the goal of the entire team, I think, from bar and kitchen. So it's really fun. It keeps me engaged. I love it.
Yeah. So Neil, I think you know what the next question I'm going to ask is coming.
Yes.
But since you have this expertise and this knowledge to share with everybody, how did you get it? How did you get here? How did you get so good at making somebody who hates gin love gin?
My liver doesn't appreciate me much at all. But it's the things we go through for you. I think
the dedication.
Yeah, right. I think oddly, it's really funny listening to Chef. I'm kind of a similar story where I didn't know what I wanted to do in college, and I was I'll be 34, so early 2000s college was just you either went to college or you were a failure kind of thing, and I didn't enjoy that outlook. I wanted to stick it to the man kind of thing. Yeah. But I enjoyed people, and I enjoyed experiences, and I enjoyed just communication. And I think that's what led me to the industry. And then I fell in love with spirits and the history around them, the classics, the creativity that comes with it, and I fell in love with that. And I think a big thing for me is, and I always tell people, there's a million bars in the Valley. The fact that humans decide to join me at my bar on any given night, whether it's an anniversary, if you're taking care of 6 kids, right? And you only have that one day every 2 months to sneak out with your significant other or just yourself. Who am I to not provide just one of the most amazing experiences, because it's your getaway, right? And that's something that I've always appreciated, something that I've always loved about this industry, and something that I continue to enjoy to this day. It's really about those interactions. And I think that's the most fun thing. Just happens to be surrounded by booze, which makes things even more fun.
Which makes things better.
That makes people want to have even more fun.
Yeah.
So it just happened to be a fun, thing that I settled in, and I enjoy it to this day. It's challenging every day, every year, especially nationally. I love to try to keep the Valley up to date nationally, and I think we're doing a good job.
Yes. So do you guys tap into the local winery and distillery scene, alcohol, when you change every 6 months for your menu?
Some of the restaurants that we've had on the show are a little smaller and have the liquor licenses, the Pennsylvania local liquor license.
Which I actually love that Pennsylvania allowed those people to do, to be honest with you. They really gave them an opportunity to broaden what their license originally intended for them to only do. So I do what I can in terms of supporting local, especially spirits wise. It is difficult price point wise in many ways, because things are new, and it's such a difficult thing to balance. So running a program, I try to support where I can, without ruining my bottom line, which is my job, I guess,
Understandable.
But there's amazing products coming out, and it's really it's been fun. Like Chef, I've been in this industry for about 15 years. It's been really fun to watch the growth of the Valley.
Right.
I was born and raised here. I know you were too, right?
No, I'm from the Poconos.
That's why we don't let them talk much.
Close enough. Don't worry, I have some questions for you.
I'm just here for moral support.
No, we do that, and then
I'm here for Neil.
Yes, dude, this is it. He's been holding my hand the entire time underneath the table. No, but to answer your question, we with that seasonality, it gives us that opportunity, and that's what I love working with Chef so much. He was such a creative mind, and one of the reasons why I took this position, because I've respected and loved him for so long in the Valley, to work side by side with him and work in that kind of atmosphere, doing chef's tables where we create tasting menus based off of his exclusive food menu. Those things are all things that are very exciting, and what that that kind of it makes it so much fun every 6 months. You know, when you just local flavors, local things that are pumping up, all the pumpkin spice if you want it, I guess, in the world, which I don't try to do ever.
Yeah, I'm not.
But there's a balance. But yes, it's very fun, and I think every spirit has its place. That's the beauty of this initiative of what we do, and creation of cocktails is. Your base spirit, not every gin's equal, not every, whiskey, bourbon, rye, everything brings something else to the table. And it's on us to understand that complexity and that depth. And if it's the best for the cocktail or not for the cocktail. Now wineries, we actually are bringing in, I've brought in a couple from Foligno Estate recently and Cellar Beast Winery, which is a new winery up north, kind of by Eight Oaks Distillery. Those are all that we're going to be running some features, soon. So cool. Yeah, we definitely, like I said, we try to support where we can. Being a heavy cocktail program, we're still trying to build our wine program. I love that everybody loves our cocktails so much. So it's, I don't want to just be like, drink wine.
Yeah.
Drink wine. No, like cocktails are awesome. Keep drinking cocktails. That's cool. But we do what we can. So we have a couple locals that we'll be featuring soon. And
That's amazing.
We're going to continue to always branch out and do what's best.
And you said with the cocktails, you match the kind of like the flavor, like try to pair them with Chef Tyler's food. So do you guys bring in like imported different spirits from different countries and stuff to try to?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, so we run, about 80% of my inventory is like special liquor order, which actually you poor individuals can't get at the liquor stores.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can order
speaking about the PLCB, you know what I'm saying? But you guys are only deemed allowed to get so many things. Yeah. And the beauty of that is I can get a lot of things that you guys can't. Mm-hmm. And we try to utilize all of those amazing bottles and spirits from all over the world in our cocktails to create that complexity and that beautiful balance that we're looking for in every aspect. So we try to bring all that into play.
Since you have opened so many restaurants and been a part of so many restaurants, do you personally on the side have a particular style of cooking or preference?
I mean, that's like one of the most common questions that I'm asked all of the time. Being in the limelight, unfortunately, sometimes, people always like, hey, what's your favorite dish? What's this? What's that? And it's a hard question to ask or to answer because I love cooking. I love food. I love to make people happy. This is something that is a global thing.
Yes.
Every single person has to eat. We all have our favorite kinds of food. And I want to fit into that in every single realm possible. I want to be able to associate and attach with any person I talk to. You know what? My favorite Greek dish is so-and-so. My favorite this is so-and-so. I want to be able to have all of that knowledge to say, okay, yeah, I can relate to you. And we can chat about this and chat about your history and chat about your culture. And everybody else can learn something from that.
I love it. So you can touch into every single type. That's beautiful.
Because if you put yourself in a box,
yeah,
guess what? You're just going to do that forever.
Exactly.
And this is something that is, again, so global that you can literally be a part of the entire world just from cooking in one restaurant.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm obviously not on your level of cooking and I'm not even in your industry, but that's kind of how I cook at home too. It's like an art, like it's a game to me. Like you pick a country or a culture and you try to make something from that without even knowing, like looking at a recipe or anything.
And that's
does it taste
go with
like
your
it
heart?
belongs?
Exactly.
Let your heart tell you what you want to cook.
Absolutely.
And, you know what you like to eat, and you know what you like to taste, and especially cooking at home. That's such an issue with people is they get scared and intimidated by a recipe or this or that. And it's like, just follow your heart.
Just do it.
I know I like this. I know I like this. Put them together. See what happens.
Exactly. Experiment. That's what I do.
It's still edible.
Yeah.
You're still going to be nourished and sustained, but maybe you learn something from that.
Right.
And that's the whole point.
And also with cooking, like you can have a good time with it. Like whenever I'm making something in my house, like I take the Alexa out, I put on some music and just have a good time with it. Like,
right. This is, a multifaceted thing. Like we have different levels to this, and we need to focus on other people's behavior, other people's interests, and when we bring all that together, we are successful.
I am a little sad because I did forget to ask, since wine, spirits, cocktails, and cooking. does he actually use any of the liquor?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I
Okay.
think that's one of my favorite things about working, like I touched on a little bit with Tyler, is I think that cohesiveness is something that I've always looked for. I love working with the back of the house because honestly, we're chefs with booze, right? It's still the same understanding of flavor pairings, of balance, of, salinity and sweetness and acidity and all that fun stuff that you were kind of figuring out the same equations at the same time, just in a different medium, So that's why I love Chef so much. Is Chef's very open. He has any questions that I have. A lot of culinary overlap has happened in the bar world when it comes to sous vide ingredients and just understanding how proteins work, things like that. Like, it's really been a very back and forth industry these days, which I've loved to watch. And I try to eat it up as much as I can. So I picked Chef's brain all the time. And anything he's bringing in for a special, even the waste I try to use. We try to limit our waste as well in our program. So we really bump our heads all the time trying to figure out, like, hey, if I use this, can you use the skin? Can you use that? Can you do this? Can we integrate that? And I think that's another really fun, challenging aspect of the industry.
That's really great, that open communication. It's ever so flowing, and you just try.
I was just gonna say, I think that's what makes the kitchen and bar like so successful here. It's a different dynamic when everybody is able to communicate back like that machine, like Chef Tyler said before.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's really a much bigger machine. And like the GMs are like the smallest cog, but they're actually like a really appreciated cog.
So that's where I was gonna go next.
Segue.
You started off by saying something really nice about me. So I was trying to think of something that I could give it back, but now I don't know.
Dude, build you up, break you down, build you up. All right.
That's compliment sandwich.
This is our relationship.
That's where I was going. So Jesse, how do you work with them to pull everything together and kind of keep the machine going as one cohesive transmission, we'll call
How do you
it?
corral these egos, sir?
I have always said that bartenders and chefs need to have an ego because they need to believe in the things they do. And we're not short of that, so we're good. No, but
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
No, to answer that question, I just think it is all about managing personalities when it comes to both your staff and your co-managers and understanding and appreciating the things they do. And one of the reasons I really like what I do is because I do get to see things that Neil and Tyler come up with. And I actually do sit back and go, like, where did they come up with that? Like, it is amazing. So then they do that, and it's my job to help educate the staff, and then we present it to the guests. So, like, I'm just kind of that middleman that kind of figures that all out.
You're an amazing middleman.
I'm pretty good at it.
That's awesome. So you're almost kind of like the liaison between the kitchen and the bar, and making sure that the fights don't break out, and that everyone's nice to each other.
It's a volatile industry, man. We're not all sane human beings, all right? We're not.
It is amazing at 36 that I have as much hair as I do at this point.
This is true. It's a crapshoot, man. Industry's it is stressful. It's not meant for everybody. It is something that I'm eternally grateful for, though. And I wish more people saw the good from it, and just the experience that you can get, the understanding, the appreciation, just full life circle kind of thing. Industry's great.
When we run, to add on to that question, we try to run specials Fridays and Saturdays, and the bar will come up with something, and the kitchen always comes up with a couple dishes, and it is just amazing to see the art that goes into it. And even if they didn't plan it, that both the beverage and the food end up matching up, where I could be like, yeah, I'll order that and I'll drink that and I'm going to have a good time. So.
Seems like everyone's in tune. I love it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys, how was COVID here?
You flipped that switch like a goddess.
Thank you.
COVID was like everywhere here. It was very difficult in the beginning, I think, with just the unknown, right? Yeah. And I think one thing that I always really, and I hope you can agree with this sentiment, is something that I was very proud of. Is we originally opened this restaurant as a very fine dining restaurant with plating, as Jesse like alluded to earlier, just being beautiful plating and just lovely dishes, craft cocktails, things of that nature. Those don't typically lend itself to takeout.
No.
Right.
But we adapted, and we actually got best takeout in Lehigh Valley,
Right.
According to Lehigh Valley Style.
I saw that
last
post.
year. Yeah,
So congrats.
like again, give him props on that. The way the chef team really just adapted and adjusted to make our dishes travelable.
Right.
If that's a word.
And what was really crazy too, not to just keep piling on there, but we had actually just won Best New Restaurant for Lehigh Valley Style as well. And then we went into this quarantine being like, okay, we did this. What comes next? And then at the very end of it, when the light was at the end of the tunnel, we realized we won Best Takeout. So it was, a testament to
That's
the
incredible.
work that we all did.
So what did you guys do different from everybody else to win Best Takeout? Like, how did you?
I like to think we probably drank more.
We
than
drank a
most.
lot. We drank a lot.
No, just
Key. That was a key.
no, I think we found our strengths in our packaging. I think that would handle our dishes appropriately. I think we opened up lines of communication really well, both online with packages that were very.
Yeah. So it was, it was a scary time for everyone. So at that point in time, we wanted to do things to show the Lehigh Valley that not only are we here, but, we want to make this known that we're here for you guys too. So like our executive sous chef made chocolate chip cookies to just throw in every bag and like just as a thing to be like, hey, this is nice. Personally, myself, every to-go menu, like I signed something like, hey, thank you so much for supporting local. We really appreciate it.
I hope people hung on to those just in case in the future.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then me personally, I ran everything out 2 cars. So I like to think I was on the front lines to a degree.
He was risking his life.
Yeah,
out there.
these people were just
My
signing
goodness.
papers, and I was like, I'll go meet these people face to face.
So actually, though, that also, I'm going to rein it in as GM again. That also is why we have the close-knit relationship that we have. Like we opened up and then we were in this situation, and now literally it's 2 chefs, Neil, myself, and our assistant GM, Eileen, and we were all just together every day. And then we would slowly integrate staff back. Like we brought a few of the day oneers back and then a few more, depending on what the laws, restrictions, everything going on. And in that time, we decided to switch over to a tip pulling system, which I had never done in all my years of experience. And at the time, I was like, oh, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
I did it in multiple places, but they were all smaller because it makes more sense. You
But-
kind of see the team
Like-
aspect more than a larger restaurant.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
I was surprised.
Yeah. So honestly, though, it worked, and we're still doing it because nobody wanted to be that weak link. Nobody wanted to be that person that wasn't getting a 20% tip. Like nobody wanted to be that person that wasn't doing side work. Like it, and we're still doing it today because of that. So
Yeah, and
that
everybody's
was one
benefited.
positive
Yeah.
that came from it.
Yeah, I also think it's something else that I love about the industry is the I think the challenges and the to adapt is something that is very fluid in this industry, and it's something that's very challenging, and it always kind of pushes you. And that year was a prime example of it. I think people got creative, and we had to. And,
Our videos.
Yeah.
it started our videos.
I mean,
guess.
we're here. We might as well self-promote.
It started our.
So these videos, let's talk about them real quick.
It's not.
I got better as they went on.
So it was me by myself for a while doing to-go cocktails, which was an amazing opportunity in the state of Pennsylvania. And I really wish they kept it going for everybody across the state. But, it was really fun to watch and see. And, it challenged me to come up with very creative ideas to figure out how to best sell that and adapt that. And the video was a fun way. I think Jeff, our owner, Virginapa, what's up, Jeff? Is
Hi, Jeff.
he's a very progressive man who understands the social media aspect of this. That is now a very prevalent thing, and he wants to take advantage of it, and he pushes us to really go after it and trust us to really kind of be a face or a voice for the restaurant. And bringing Jesse in, I was a little tentative at first, but I opened up pretty quick, and I accepted him.
And as for the social media thing, now more than ever, I mean, our business survives on helping other businesses tell their story. And now more than ever, the internet in general and social media is literally the best way to do it. So we understand that very, very well.
I think in that time during COVID, it showed people too, like sometimes they go out to a restaurant and they might not, think about the people behind the counter, but like it showed that, we're all human beings, we're all in this together, and like we're trying to give this experience. And like I'd like to think the videos are entertaining, and like maybe they can
it is
fun
entertaining
time.
Because on the drive here I was like, wow, I love their dynamic. This is fun. And I'd actually like to see more of it.
Thank you. And I think we're gonna keep them going.
You should keep them going.
Definitely keep them going.
It was a fun thing that kind of came out of left field, and it's something that we really enjoy doing. But that's like another thing that everybody's been trying to learn. Whatever's best for your restaurant, for your team, for your what you have. I think we have such a involved crew in all assets and all facets, and that we were lucky enough that nobody was selfish. Everybody understood what needed to be done, and they saw the benefits of it.
And working together.
Like nobody ever walks away going like, how did I not make this? Everybody understands that everybody's pulling their weight whether they're here or not. And if you put in hours, you're going to make money. And that's pretty much where it's at. And so it worked out great for us. But it's obviously every situation is its own devil. And that's what's been really interesting about the industry in general.
I mean, I think it was the excellent work of the GM to make it go.
Oh my God.
Most
Bring
likely,
it here to my eyes.
We're forgetting about the man in the back corner over there too. He's
Jeffy.
He's got to do something. He's here.
He does. Well, he sets up opportunities like this with this amazing podcast. You know what I mean? So that we could have our voices heard.
He alluded to it, but Jeff is very hands-on, and like he came up with the ideas for social media. But also, when we had like that second shutdown in December, he personally came up with different to-go things like packages, and we did like neighborhood delivery for a while.
Oh,
like
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it kept us.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do it again, but I think it was a
I don't think you ever.
It was one of those options.
I drove a couple times, got lost.
You did not
got
drive.
I drove a couple times.
I drove.
So like you said, I think, and that's something that you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to go with the flow in this industry. You have to realize what you're good at, what you can really capitalize on, and how you can not only help your team, but your customer base, your entire community that you rely on, and that's what's fun about it.
So we have a little game that we play with the chef. Unfortunately, I don't have the physical item with me today.
That's fine. We can pretend.
But
I have a 2-year-old at home. I'm good at pretending.
Usually we would bring out some sort of random canned item and ask you how you would cook it into a
Today's
5-star dish.
It was like chopped.
Yeah, something like
but the
that.
fake version.
Except I usually just pull it out of the bag and whip it on the table.
It's
Like, what are you going to do
pretty
with this? For you, I had canned clams in like a lemon butter sauce.
Oh, beautiful.
There you go.
Oh man, I mean, we have clams on the menu right now, so I would probably do an iteration of the version that we have right now. Maybe do a version of white kimchi if it's in a lemon butter sauce. So we could do like heavy daikon, lots of kaffir lime, coconut milk as the broth.
Awesome.
Served with a little bit of maybe like toasted milk bread, which we make in-house. Just to sop up all that nice juice and
Oh my goodness.
having a good old time.
Nice juice.
Yeah,
I'm down.
hey man.
I'm down.
I'd try it. I'd eat it. Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys on.
It's been really fun. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes, it's
so
very
much
fun.
for having us over to your beautiful
No, of
restaurant.
course. I mean,
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all your time.
Thank you.
And
We're gonna go make some cocktails.
yeah, for
We're
sure.
gonna enjoy ourselves.
We'll definitely take
I'm
some
gonna go
photos and
drink those
stuff,
cocktails.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. And
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
be sure to check out everybody else that we have on the show too.
Absolutely.
Go Birds.